interviewed a lot of people from ICE, which is Immigration Customs Enforcement. They're part of Homeland Security, and they're the ones who investigate trafficking. And then prosecutors who prosecute it, people on the border in Mexico and California, because I was retracing Yumi's steps, and one of the things that happened to her is she was driven across the border illegally. So I talked to people on the border about, how do you try to spot this or deal with this, or what are the numbers of how often this happens. And I spent time in Koreatown in Los Angeles, and I also talked with cops in San Francisco who deal with this, and then I went into the massage parlors in San Francisco. And I also had about 3 sources who were men who go into massage parlors, and they were very, very helpful, talking to me about the whole culture and the online culture of trafficking. To City Hall, and I talked to the mayor's assistant, and I had found out that there are inspection teams that go into massage parlors, and police are on the teams, but so are public health, Department of Public Health, Building and Codes Inspection, and people from the city attorney's office. So I found out, who's in charge of those teams, and then I sort of asked them, can I please go? And a lot of this is not quick. You don't just get permission over the phone. You kind of have to go meet them. You have to explain to them what you're doing, that it's not a daily story, that it's a project, and you're careful, and you won't photograph any men in there or women in there, And months and months and months and months later, they said, okay, you can come.
Most commonly we hear about massage parlors, but what are some of the other venues where that you discovered that trafficking takes place?
I mostly focused on sex trafficking, so I can talk about that with most authority, but also in doing that, I learned a lot about just other kinds of trafficking. Besides, when we're only talking about the sex part, besides massage parlors, women are also trafficked to strip clubs, to the apartments that we were talking about before, these underground apartments where there maybe just be one woman or 2, and you find out where it is through word of mouth or online, and there's often a code word you need to use, or you need to be approved on this list to get in. A lot of times people are trafficked to work as maids in people's homes up here.
Hotels a lot, right?
I haven't heard of hotels. I've heard of more rich people who have a person move into their house and clean their house 16 hours a day and have to sleep in the garage on the floor, and they never let out of the house, stuff like that.
How would you even go about finding that out? If they're in the private people's homes.
That gets discovered usually by neighbors who kind of sense something's weird. What's new is that it's becoming an issue. It's becoming something that everyone's talking about. There's a movie coming out. Have you heard of Trade, that movie, Kevin Kline? It's coming out in the fall.
Did Dave show that? I think
that's his movie.
Pop culture is starting to catch on to it as a topic. Politicians are starting to, Fiona Ma, starting to introduce legislation, and